Salam and good evening, worthy friends. I had to start the video like that just because I can. It's strange that it's been a whole year since this video first came about, and I feel before we get into the video properly, if I give you a little bit of a history. Last year I was incredibly lucky enough to be invited down to Aladdin, the Disney musicals. It's their first ever relaxed performance, Autism-Friendly performance, as they're also known. I'd never been to a West End show before. I'd always felt a bit cautious of them, just because of bad experiences in theatre-y environments in the past. Now, I actually ended up going to another relaxed performance about a month before Aladdin, but Aladdin was the first time I went to a big show, and I loved it so much. Like, oh, so much. You can see that review up here. And the review actually got a bit of attention. I tweeted it out thinking, oh, I'll tag a few of the cast in it, you never know, they might watch it. Ended up, like, all the cast, like the Genie, Aladdin, tweeting it out. It was like, oh, okay. Then I get a message from Aladdin the musical saying, hey Connor, thanks, can we send you stuff? A few weeks later I then received a mug, a lamp and a few other things. That's what you call Disney magic. I thought that was all magical enough. And then back in April I got an email which kind of gave me a mini heart attack, I'm not even gonna lie. I thought I was being catfished. I got an email from someone where their email was @disney.com. They were asking if I wanted to come down to Agrabah to make a video showcasing this year's relaxed performance. Of course I said yes. Got to go and talk to the technical manager Spencer, the Access host Roast, Aladdin and Genie, Matt and Trevor. Was the most magical day of my life. I got to see the show again in the evening as well, and the magical hotel. It was a lot to take in, and yes, I did spend a lot of time in the evening just crying because I was so happy. That place just held so many happy memories for me there. So to then be invited for the third time back down to Agrabah to review this year's relaxed performance. Oh, welcome to the most biased review you've ever seen. Now, my original plan was to kind of film a more vloggy review. I was going to film bits and bobs around the theatre, like interjecting, saying, oh, look at this, look at this. It was practically impossible to film. It was difficult to get shots without getting people in, because if you get people in, you have to have permission for people and blah, blah. So I'll just show you a very quick montage now, accompanied by some very nice music, to just show what I did capture, and then I shall return. It's a shame I don't have some magical after effect where I could do like some genie poof. Just imagine the poof. I've made it to Agrabah. Can't actually show you the theatre, third time, so excited. Already the Access hosts have been lovely. It's because I know both of them. Can really just sense such a more relaxed atmosphere. There's so many volunteers about from both the National Autism Society and Disney. The theatre actually has the Autism-Friendly award, if you saw the video last time. Now I best go and get in my seat. It's gonna begin soon.
Never had a friend.
You also saw a little sneak peek as to what the show itself looks like. It's magical, isn't it? It's magical is the only way to describe it. I didn't capture as much footage as I'd like, so let's just go through the bits now. Yes, I am going to be biased about this because it's the most me musical you could ever have, until Hercules the musical comes along, but we'll ignore that one. I am going to review it though, as if it was my first time going. I'm going to break it down into sections, and the first section I believe is the most important one. It's the planning, because if you can't plan things correctly, you're not going to get there in the first place, so... Aladdin actually teamed up with the National Autistic Society for these performances. They had such a big input in making sure that, obviously, the autism side of stuff is all good. Aladdin is actually the first West End show, I believe, to receive the Autism-Friendly award. I was actually there to witness that moment. So you'd be expecting everything to be pretty much on point. So whenever I know I've got tickets for something, I like to look at what information is available to help me visualise what's going to happen. Just going straight to the homepage of Aladdin, you can see Access performances there. Autism-Friendly performances, obviously that was the specific performance, but here you can find certain things like a visual story. The visual story is really good. It's just a breakdown of, you will arrive at the door, you will go into this bit, then you will see the show will last for this long, then there'll be a break. It's really nice and easy to just break it down, just in case you've never been to a theatre before and you don't kind of know how the process is going to work. There's also a guided film so you can see inside the theatre. That's one thing that I always like to do whenever I go places. I've normally watched a vlog of going somewhere before I've been there. That's why I know my way around Disney World, even though, yeah, one day I'll be there. And then even directions to get to the theatre itself, just in case you need a bit of help there. I even like to look at photos and videos of the show, just so I can get a bit more of an idea of what to expect, because it makes me feel a lot more comfortable then going there. One of my favourite things which Aladdin actually do is to have a look at the view from your seats, so you can head on to aladdinseatview.com and click on your seats and there's your view. Another little tip that I have for when planning to see a musical specifically, have a look at the soundtrack beforehand. Don't listen to the songs because you don't want to ruin that kind of aspect of it, but just have a look at the set list, because then you can kind of get a good idea in your head of, all right, that song's been, then I know it's going to be this one, and that can really help you with the pacing, just so you know how long roughly it's going to be about. But don't be scared if things change about, because often cast recordings are done at the beginning of the musical, so things can change, etc. So with that stage one, the planning, I think just from that information on the website alone, that's enough. Should you need any further information, the staff are really easily contactable. You can find the contact details on the website, nice and easy. I'm kind of reviewing the relaxed performance, but then again how accessible it is as a whole anyway, if you want to go and see a normal performance. But because this one was a relaxed performance, there was extra information on the National Autistic Society website. Now the next section I want to talk about how good the staff were, so the front of house, the Disney people. Now I actually know a few of the front of house people, and I can tell you that they have some of the best training that I've ever seen in terms of autism friendliness. They normally have one access host per night, but on the Autism Friendly performance they had 4. One of which was my friend Heidi, which I've just got to say, she did an amazing job. If people at Disney or Delphont Macintosh are listening, just, yeah, keep an eye on her in the future. I told you it was going to be a biased review. As soon as you walked in, there was such a relaxed vibe in the theatre. All the staff nice and welcoming. There were also volunteers from Disney and volunteers from the National Autistic Society. Everyone was in a real calm manner. Even the security on the door checking your bags, they were really nice, really friendly. Whenever I spoke to a member of staff, I wanted to kind of throw quite a lot at them, because I was, as well as like genuinely needing some answers, I'm also reviewing it, so I needed to kind of test some things, and everyone answered all my questions, and if one person wasn't able to answer a question, they got another person that was. The next section I want to talk about how the theatre itself was changed. Throughout the theatre were relaxed spaces, so if you needed to escape performance and just need somewhere to chill a bit, there are many of them available to you. There are also just generally more people about to just be pointing you in the right direction, and that really helped. Moving on to the show itself, obviously this is kind of the main part of it. If you saw my video that I released back in May, you'll know specifically about some things that have been changed, but generally they removed some effects to make it more bearable, and yeah, flashing lights gone, loud noises, the noise was down overall, and yeah. Of course, the last time I saw the show, I saw it in its full glory with all the effects and everything. I spent a lot of time like that. But seeing that so recently, it meant I had a really good comparison to the relaxed performance, and 90% of it, spot on. Like, I can think of specific scenes that were incredibly altered to make them autism friendly. However, this is the only thing that I've got to say that was not right. And I said this to people while I was there, so I'm fine with saying this because it's something I did mention last year. I suggested last year that the fireworks in Friend Like Me needed to be taken out, so the genie's obviously doing his thing, and there were some fireworks that shoot overhead. There hadn't actually been a firework that appears at the front appear, so I thought, oh, they're not going to do these fireworks. But and then these 2 fireworks, or maybe it's a few more than 2, appeared, and I was like, oh god, because my problem, I'll show you a little clip now, but the Cave of Wonders is shiny gold, so when you have a firework, they're bright enough as it is, so with that cave, too bright. And that's as much as was in the performance last year, the relaxed performance. However, this year it appeared that some more fireworks went in place, and as well as these fireworks, brilliant description, aren't they? They had these poppy ones at the back. They were too much for me. They were definitely too much for all the kids around me that I could hear screaming. It wasn't the end of the world, but if you do it again, please just get rid of them. Like, as I said last year, the performance is that good, you don't even need them. Like, no fireworks at all. None of this. None of this. Other than that, though, so many things were taken back to make it more enjoyable, and yeah, the rest of the performance, perfect. One thing I've got to say, if any of the cast are watching this, you all did extremely well, because one thing I noticed this year, I would say the audience as a whole was a bit louder this year, and that's fine because it's a relaxed environment. You're meant to be able to be as comfortable as possible, and whether that's making a bit of noise, that's fine. And the cast did as brilliant as possible to just keep going with the performance. Like, there's one song which I love called Proud of You Boy, and Matt started singing it, and after the first line there was a big noise, but Matt continued with the emotion. Well done, Matt. And when I spoke to Matt earlier in the year, one of the things he said, it's really different for him. Like, the house lights are on, they can see the entire audience. So just well done to all the cast for delivering the performance as well as it normally is, despite having all these extra new things thrown at you. Now, last year I complained about the parents, because parents didn't know theatre etiquette, and that really bothered me. There was a lot better etiquette this year. People didn't boo every time Jafar went on stage, only about half the time. If you boo when Jafar's on stage, you can't hear what Jafar's saying, can you? But that seemed to be better, that was fine. One thing, if any parents are watching this, just realise it's a 2.5-hour musical. Regardless of autism, is your kid going to be able to sit through that? I wouldn't have been able to at such a young age, even for a Disney show. Maybe for a Disney show. I personally think theatres are perhaps for people a bit older. It's a full musical, it's not a kid show. So just bear in mind the length and if your kid's going to actually enjoy it. I've heard back from many autistic adults that went to, and it was just as enjoyable for them. So it was great to hear so much positive feedback. And we didn't have a fire alarm this time. I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about Aladdin forever, because I love it, but I think I've covered everything. You've heard how much I praised it. It's brilliant to go to relaxed performance, so if one of them crops up in the future, do get yourself going. But there's also enough measures in place to make it a comfortable experience for if you're going to just a normal performance. Another side note, it was a different genie, it wasn't Trevor. It was someone called Michael, who had actually done an autism-friendly performance before in Australia. Obviously I'm always going to be biased towards Trevor, but Michael was, like, incredible as well. Now I'm once again just going to be singing the songs over and over and over again. Well, mind you, did I ever stop in the last year? So once again, just thank you to everyone at the theatre, everyone from the show, everyone from Disney, everyone from the National Autistic Society. All of those people together have developed an experience which should be comfortable for anyone. And if you're scared about going to the theatre, that's the show that's going to be the best one to go and see first. Another side note, I did actually manage to beat my crying record. The first time I started crying at the chorus of Arabian Nights. Then last time it was Oh I Come From a Land. This time, the overture. God help me if I ever see it again, it's going to be like, I'm just going to walk in the theatre and start crying, aren't I? In the comments down below, firstly, if you went to the performance, let me know your feedback, of course. Let me know if this is something that you would like to go to next year. Maybe you want to go to a normal performance, just Aladdin stuff, let's talk about that. But also, a question that I want everyone to answer. If you wanted to see any musical start doing relaxed performances, what would it be? I'll give you mine one. Mine would be Les Mis. I really want to see Les Mis, but the guns and it's not worth it seeing a normal performance. So that's the one I would like most. I hope the people at Delphont Macintosh are listening. Now I did say I've got a new end screen, so wait until you see this fancy thing. I've been Connor Ward. You can find my social medias down here. You can subscribe up here. Go and explore my website. I'll be updating that soon with much cool stuff. If you haven't seen my last video, you can see that here, and here's a video that YouTube's going to recommend for you. I'll recommend it this time. It's going to be the Aladdin video that I made in May. Thank you very much for watching. Bye!